Hi, I'm Michael Bunting, a leadership author, researcher, speaker, and a lifelong learner around the subject of leadership, human beings, and self-awareness. So, over the years of getting involved in all different kinds of leadership models and leadership theories, one of the questions that we only started asking properly in the last 5 years is the so what? Like, what's the absolute bottom line of leadership? So, if I'm working on my leadership, how do I know I'm improving? Or if I'm trying to be a great leader, what's the mark of a great leader? What's the ultimate so what? And we came to coin this term, which we ultimately called our business triple goal. There's three key so what's of leadership. The first is performance. So, in other words, if you're leading a sports team or you're leading a charity organization or you're leading a for-profit business or a team within that, the bottom line is it's you delivering on your set goals and achieving them, right? That's high performance. It could be being very efficient and delivering that performance, but ultimate profitability, patient impact, or patient outcomes if you're in the medical area. But bottom line is you're delivering things at a high quality, at a high speed performance. The second is agility, innovation, learning. Are you leading a group of people, organization, division that is able to learn from its mistakes quickly, able to innovate, grow, change, update itself, future fit? So good leaders or great leaders deliver high performance in the areas they lead. They deliver agility and learning. And the last thing they deliver is happy people. So the people that work under great leaders are highly engaged, their mental health is improved, they have a sense of meaning, they feel seen and connected. So great leaders also create happy, high engaged workplaces or teams, what we call a great workplace. So we've coined these three things: great performance, great learning, and great workplace. And if I share my screen here, you'll see we've got it in a simple slide format. That's what you have to do to deliver on your strategy and vision. You have to have great performance, great learning, a great workplace. Now, every single thing that an organization does, a team does, ultimately, whether they know it or not, is aimed at improving one or all three of these things. It is the ultimate so what of anything in an organization, including your leadership. So if you're trying to improve your leadership, you want to be a better leader, how do you know you're improving? You see it in better performance, better agility and learning or reinventing, and happier people. That's the ultimate so what. Now, there's 1,000 different leadership models out there. The real bottom line, though, is are you driving performance, learning, and great workplace? And if the model you're using is helping you deliver that, excellent. Keep using it. If it's not, try something else. It's obviously practice based. You need to do something with this to actually make a difference. Now, in terms of behavior, so leadership is both competence and behavior. You do need a degree of competence in your field, typically to lead a team. Sometimes, they'll bring in someone from another organization or a totally different organization into CEO role. It really is pure behavior and technical business understanding. But generally speaking, you need competence. So if you're going to lead people into the wilderness, you need a good understanding of the wilderness, competence. If you're leading a medical team, you need to have medical understanding. If you're leading a car business, useful to have a deep understanding of the car business. So technical competence is key, but it's not what makes you a great leader. It's like a baseline. Our research shows that 50% of your leadership is technical competence, so you need to have it, and 50% is behavior. Every one of us has been around people who are technically competent but bad leaders. That is a way of saying their behavior is not delivering what it needs to deliver. So here's a simple way of thinking of your so what of performance, learning, and engagement. You and all of us have behaviors that don't drive high performance, great learning, or a great workplace, right? They're typically automated behaviors in us. They're typically comforting. So, for example, if I'm going to avoid an honest conversation with someone, or I'm going to shout at someone to get the job done, these behaviors are typically automated. They're habitual, but in the long run, if you keep doing them, they drag performance, learning, and workplace down. So, as a very start, every leader should have an awareness of what are the three or four behaviors I can be prone to do that actually are comforting to me. They seem to work in the moment, but when I really put them against the so what, do they improve performance? Do they improve learning? Do they improve great workplace? And there's a range of those behaviors that don't. Self-aware leaders, excellent leaders have an awareness of that so they can manage it. And then the other piece is what we call the green zone. So red zone is the behaviors that reduce in our model, and green zone are the deliberate things I need to do, cultivate to make sure I do drive performance, learning, and workplace. So a simple example could be, we're political and we don't really have the honest conversation, red zone behavior. I'm going to cultivate more direct, honest, skillful feedback to my team. Why? I'm going to do it because so I can clarify standards of performance better. I can challenge people when things aren't working well so that we can learn more. And I can deliver a higher trust workplace, which ultimately equals happier, more engaged people. So it's a simple way of looking at your leadership. It's like the so what is performance, agility learning, workplace engagement, or great workplace. Are you delivering on those three things? Which of those three things need to improve? From a behavior perspective, what behaviors are you doing at the moment that actually don't support performance, learning, engagement, which is where you've got low-hanging fruit opportunity? And what behaviors, therefore, should you cultivate, one or two, that can really help you drive better performance, better learning, and a better workplace? I hope that was useful, and I hope your leadership is excellent. I hope that was useful and wishing you excellent mindful leadership.